Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater. And when I started this channel, I didn't want to touch a lot on the whole political narrative, political ideology, a lot of other kind of that bullshit. I just wanted to talk movies. But I've already kind of broken that rule a couple times now, so fuck it, here we are. Now, over the course of March, there were 2 films that came out that had exclusively gay moments. That would be Beauty and the Beast by Walt Disney Pictures and Lionsgate's Power Rangers. Both movies came out a week apart from each other. Both movies had gay characters and very small, minuscule, almost throwaway scenes. And both movies sparked a pretty large outrage. Beauty and the fucking Beast was banned in Malaysia. And then Disney said, we're not going to cut the scene. And Malaysia's like, then you're banned. And then eventually Malaysia kind of cruised around to it and let it do its thing. Then, of course, you had an Alabama drive-in where the owner was not going to show Beauty and the Beast because of the gay scene. And he felt that it was wrong to showcase that at a family-friendly fucking theater. Never mind the fact, at the same time, the guy was running both Star Wars Rogue One playing with Moana. So he clearly had no trouble taking money from the company that was then releasing a product that had a gay character in it. So there's that. A little bit hypocritical in my opinion, even though he has a right to do what he wants to do. I'm still going to call him a fucking hypocrite because that's the way that I fucking see it. But the character in question, LeFou, his moment, like I said, was basically minuscule. It was almost throwaway. It would be left ambiguous to the audience to decide whether or not he was or wasn't. But Bill Condon had to go out there and make a big fucking deal about it. I mean, ultimately it wasn't a big deal, but the way that he framed it, the exclusively gay moment, just made no fucking sense. And still, nearly a month later, doesn't make any fucking sense. I don't get it. But that's the world we fucking live in. Then you jump over to Power Rangers, a film that is currently rated 18 plus in Russia because of one line of dialogue and an unanswered question. Now, if you don't know already, Trini Kwan, the Yellow Ranger, is supposedly lesbian in this adaptation. I'm okay with it. I don't give much of a shit. I really honestly don't give much of a shit at all if Trini's gay. But Russia clearly does, and so do a lot of other people as well. They are upset at this moment in a movie that has no impact at all on roughly anything. And it's part of the problem that I have with this, and it comes from an ideological standpoint, is the fact that we see gay and lesbian and trans people being used as a prop, as a political prop to either back a narrative or to push a product or to basically just kind of be, their own prop for whatever purposes. We saw this with, let's say, the backlash on Ghost in the Shell casting. Why wasn't it an Asian American person playing Major? Well, in this adaptation, it was Scarlett Johansson and, fine, whatever. But then here you've got these 2 moments that are very small and kind of winks to the audience and winks on those characters' backgrounds, those characters' histories, or their future in some respects. And again, I would look at this as being a negative to the LGBT community because of the way that it was handled. If characters are gay, I don't have a problem. If characters are trans, more power to them. I don't care. What I want as a person who watches movies or reads books or plays video games is I want the character to be allowed to exist without that political or ideological narrative going in. Best case in point I can give you, for any of you guys out there are gamers, was Dragon Age Inquisition from BioWare. Came out a couple years ago, right? Leading up to the release of the game, one of your companions, a guy by the name of Dorian, was heavily touted around as the first gay character in the Dragon Age series. And as a result of that, every time people talked about Dorian, it was instantly, oh yeah, he's gay. Nothing else about him. Nothing else about the character at all, but that was what he was shoehorned into being. That was what the guy who wrote the fucking game was going out there and just using it as a political prop, as a political, as a moral standing ground. Like, oh, we've added this gay character into this game. And then you ask anyone about it and they're just like, yeah, no, he's gay. But it's like, you would find that out through the course of discussion. Now, unfortunately, BioWare decided to not so much do that in Mass Effect Andromeda, and they had a trans character that dead names themselves within the first like 2 seconds of talking to the main character in the game. And again, that's its own level of fucking bullshit. It's like, why don't let these characters be who they are? You know, one of the best representations of gay character in a video game was Bill from The Last of Us, who was gay. It was kind of hinted he was gay when you first meet him, but he doesn't come out and say it. He doesn't come out and beat you over the head with it. But there's a note you find from his former partner who basically just cusses him out and says, "I fucking hate you." And that's when you, as the player, go, oh, okay. And then you feel kind of bad for Bill because you get to see this relationship have fallen apart. And unfortunately, the way that it ended was not good. And so, again, that gives you this character that has nuance around it, and it's not being kind of thrown in everyone's face, and it's allowed to exist in its own right. And I will give Neil Druckmann credit for that character because of the way that it was presented. But here with Power Rangers and with Beauty and the Beast, you have a situation where these characters are not given that opportunity for people to understand that, come to that conclusion on their own. They already know that going in. It ultimately ruins the experience to an extent because people are then looking for that, especially in the case of Beauty and the Beast, because they knew that it was controversial. They knew that it was there. I mean, I met a guy the other night that said he would not go see Power Rangers because Trini was gay. And I was not going to lie. I was shocked. I'm like, it's a throwaway scene. That's the, you know, at its worst, it's a throwaway scene. At its best, it's just a character development moment with no real explanation or answer. And that's about it. And he was just adamantly against it. Nope, not going to do it. Nope, not going to fucking do it. And I'm like, again, he wouldn't have known that and probably would not have even cared had he gone into the movie without that having been a political grandstanding point. And that is my entire point to this argument, is that there are people out there that are going to either hardline this one way or another, and all it does is damage, if anything, maybe the reputation of the fucking property or the project. And when you try to shoehorn in diversity in that particular way, it feels so blatantly disingenuous because it's not being used to enhance a character, or it's not being used, or no, it is being used as a way to kind of like pigeonhole a character or shoehorn a character and not let the character just exist in their own right. You know what I mean? Like I said, Bill from The Last of Us is a great representation of that, because the character existed, and then you get to this plot point for him, and you learn it not through him. He doesn't tell you. It's not presented in a way that's very spoon-fed, like the stuff on Mass Effect and Dragon Age, and even, you know, how it was spoon-fed to us through the political narrative, through the movie bloggers and everything else making a big deal about it and shit, for these movies. It's just sad. It's just sad. It's like characters cannot exist in this day and age without being used as a political prop one way or the other. And that is unfortunate. And that is one of the reasons why I like to tell people, stop watching trailers, you know, like just go into the movie as blind as humanly possible. It's going to save you in the long run, because I think people need to get back to that again. And people also need to stop using the LGBT community as a prop in this regard. And some people out there might go, "You're just being an SJW about this." I'm not. I want these characters to exist as every other character would exist. To, you know, it's not like I'm going to walk up to someone and go, "Hi, my name is Matt Jarbo. I love vagina. That vertical smile makes me happy." No one is going, like, no straight character would ever say that. So why is that being used as a political point for gay characters is what I'm trying to get to. It's disingenuous. It's pushing political narratives, it's running political ideologies, and it's doing a complete disservice to that entire community. And that's pretty much what I want to say about that. I am curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. Let me know in the comments below. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This is 3 Buck Theater. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and check back often for movie news, commentary, and discussion from me. And trust me, I won't be doing a lot on this kind of stuff. I just felt the need to kind of speak out about this. And then tomorrow, way back to just talking about some movies. All right, guys, see you later.